Good morning, happy weekend. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Flynn, here to help you make more money, save more time, and help more people too. And because it's the weekend, we're going to do some website and YouTube channel reviews for those who are here live in the chat. And we're going to pick some people at random to dive into and offer some advice for. And for those of you who are watching either live now or the replay, you'll get to learn along the way. We get to have some fun, we get to tell some stories, and hopefully improve your online business status as well. We got a lot of fun things happening today. Thank you so much. This is episode 234 of the income stream. That's 234 days straight. This is one of my favorite days because we get to go deep, and I love that. So welcome to the show. Thanks for being here, and say hello to your friends.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Flynn.
I still have that old Hal Elrod lower third popping up. Bam, Hal Elrod in the house. He was here a couple weeks ago. Anyway, check out his stuff, The Miracle Morning. Definitely life-changing for me. But hopefully today will be life-changing for a few people. Maybe not like directly or immediately, but of course a lot of these incremental changes that we can make on our website or within our videos or on our YouTube channel can go a very long way in terms of increasing viewership, helping more people, serving more people. And of course, when you build great things and you serve people along the way, you get to reap the rewards of that in all different kinds of ways, whether that means more money, whether it means more recognition, whether it means more sharing of your stuff. And of course, it always feels good to help people too. I always come from a serve first philosophy, and I hope you do too. So, Frank in the house. We got Mai, Manos, Bernard, Peasant Uprising, Stephanie, Shonda, Beth, Lisa, Grandma Goody, Bernard, Makeup for Antonica. We got Boris in the house, Ryan, and Frank. Again, I think I maybe said Frank already, but Manos and just Buzzard, just all great people. Thank you for being here. I have a fun thing to share with you, by the way. A friend of mine who is currently watching the Vid Summit stream. Vid Summit is a conference that happens yearly, and it's to help people who are interested in YouTube and videos. And it typically happens right around now in person. But unfortunately, of course, we can't do that, so it's all happening virtual right now. I actually did a keynote for it yesterday, which was really fun and exciting. I've gotten a lot of great comments about that. But my friend who's watching this stream right now sent me a picture that absolutely blew my mind. I'm going to share it with you right now because it literally has just made my day. I'm gonna pop this up here. Check out this photo. What? They are talking about super fans, and who is that on the right? That's Daryl Eves on the left. He is the founder of Vid Summit, and I highly recommend you check him out. His YouTube channel can help you grow yours as well, much better than I could. That's Mr. Beast on the right-hand side, holding super fans. What? He has his fingers on my book. That is just blowing my mind to me. Unreal. I cannot believe that. That's incredible. That just made my day. Thank you. And this is going to make my day too because I'm here to help you. So anyway, I just wanted to share that because I just like saw that right before the stream and I just couldn't stop smiling. And this is where all this super energy just came from right now. So incredible. Absolutely incredible. So again, thanks to Mr. Beast. And of course, if you follow Vid Summit, you may see a lot of Mr. Beast because he and Daryl have partnered, and Mr. Beast reveals a lot about what he's done to grow so quickly and so big, so fast. A lot of it has to do, in fact, with his just obsession with the YouTube algorithm, which is really interesting. We're going to talk a lot about these kinds of components today. Mr. Beast has also been featured on a number of different YouTube channels talking about the YouTube algorithm and some of the things that he's doing. And basically it just comes down to a few simple things. The idea of creating content that people want to see and they can't help but want to watch. Thumbnails that people can't help but want to click on. Titles that are really interesting that keep people glued to the screen. And of course, a lot of Mr. Beast stuff is related to a lot of these challenges. And of course, you have to wait to the end to see the results. And Mr. Beast has really just cracked that code there. And of course, we're all not going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars per video and give away a bunch of money, but we can still have that mindset of going into a video with, okay, what is going to get people to stick around? Because when you think about it, YouTube just wants people to stay on YouTube. And if we can support YouTube in that way, if we can create videos and have really good hooks in the beginning, have a lot of people click on the thumbnails and the title. If we can support YouTube in that way, guess what? YouTube's going to support us back. They're going to share our video with way more people. And so these are the kinds of things that we could do here on YouTube. And the same thing applies with any kind of content, whether it's your website or your podcast or even a single blog post. The idea that we need to create stuff that would excite and interest people, but while we and after we capture that attention, hold that excitement and create open loops and keep people. If you start hearing noise in the background, by the way, it is raining like mad here, which is really great. Like, it doesn't rain very often here in San Diego, and I'm just very, very welcoming of it right now because it's been really hot. So there's a lot of loud noise right outside my window. I don't know if you can hear it, but anyway, what's up, Stardust Studio? Good to see you here. Samson in the house, K-Walk, fantastic. So we're gonna dive in, and I want to know who wants to get their website and or YouTube channel reviewed. Just to let you know, I won't be able to get to everybody, but I'm gonna get to as many as I can within this hour. And really quick, while we look for some people and some inputs, if you do have a website or YouTube channel, let me know, pop in the link. Don't actually put the link, just put like, spell the word dot with parentheses around it. Sometimes YouTube won't let URLs come through. But anyway, this is just gonna be very organic, kind of random. And also, let's talk about really quick about what I'm gonna be looking for on these kinds of things. So first impressions are always really important. Sometimes we work so hard to just have people finally find us, only to let them down because we aren't very clear about who we are, what this is for, and making a direct connection with why people should stick around. On YouTube channel artwork and on websites, I want to see a tagline. I want to see something that helps me as a viewer who may be interested go, yes, this is exactly what I was looking for, right? I'm a slacker. I was always a slacker, says Lex. Is that a Back to the Future reference? Because that is indeed something that's actually mentioned on that movie. I'm still working on my website updates, says Boris. You're welcome to review my Twitch channel, says Boris. We haven't done much Twitch stuff, and in fact, I'm not a huge Twitch. I'm a Twitch fan, and obviously I have a Twitch channel as well with my kids. But I'm not very knowledgeable about what works and what doesn't. The one thing I do know that might be able to help you, Boris, would be to utilize YouTube. And I know obviously you have a YouTube channel here as well, but taking really good clips and putting them here and pointing people back to your regularly scheduled stream would be great. Frank says, thank you in advance, Pat. Frank, did you pop in your URL or something? It is raining today. Cool. Anyway, I haven't seen anybody yet. If I missed you, let me know. But again, the one thing I don't like about YouTube, says Boris, is that they direct video views from your content to other channels related content. That kind of grinds my gears. We'll look into Vimeo to host to avoid it. Yeah, but at the same time, if you do it well, Boris, right? People can see your own videos as related videos if you connect them properly. Some things that you might be able to do is perhaps create a series or put them in a playlist together. That way your video will always, or most likely, show up next in the playlist. If you have similar titles and it's a similar sort of viewership, you can actually be recommended more often than other people being recommended. And at the same time, although this is not great because we're sending people away, a lot of times you're going to get traffic from other people too. So if you were to sort of cut that off from people going from your video to others, guess what? Other people's videos won't drive your videos. And in fact, a lot of my views come from other people's videos too, and you could take advantage of that as well. What's up, Ryan Hare? Good to see you here. Good morning, Sue. Thank you for coming in today. Just got a lot of energy this morning. Had a lot of good things come in for sure. Of course, it was a Back to the Future reference. I just jumped shipped, and I have my vest on. Nice. We need a Kai takeover at some point. Yeah, this has been a big request in the Twitch channel. Kai, who's my daughter, she's actually sewing right now. She's gotten into this business. It's not really a business. She's not selling anything, but she made a couple of these. I think I have one. She's experimenting. This is a prototype, but you all seen Among Us, this really hot video game that's come out. She's creating these little plush dolls, and we went to a fabric store yesterday, and we bought yards and yards of different color fabric, as well as stuffing and sewing thread and needles, and she and her brother are now in the garage because they're making Christmas gifts right now for people, which is super cool. I love that. Frank says, the URL, Frank, gotcha, Frank. I got ya. Let's go to Frank's website and tear it down. I mean, help him out. Just kidding. I am here to help you. And I will say, Frank, and for everybody else here, These website reviews are meant to help you. I want to be brutally honest with you. I'm going to try to be kind with these reviews, but I will be honest, and I do this out of the goodness of my own heart to try to help you because I want you to fast forward. I've had one person get a little not so happy about after a review that I did, but again, it's all coming from a place of service, and I'm going to do what I can to help you. And I promise you, if you take action on a lot of the stuff we've already seen in chat, if you've gotten your website reviewed here before too, or your YouTube channel, and you've made some changes and you've seen some results, let everybody else know so we know that this stuff works. Bruh. There we go. High five. Let's make this happen. Okay, so we're going to Frank Mac Rides. All right. I'm just going to dive right in. Okay, so first thing that I just noticed, I'm going to take my face off really quick, but hopefully you should still be able to hear me. So first of all, and Dr. Severin Brian, we're going to do, are we going to do you next? I'm going to write this down. Okay, so Frank, first thing I noticed, this pop-up. We'd like to show you notifications for the latest news and updates. How am I supposed to know if I want to receive these if I haven't yet been on your website? This is just, and again, Sue, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate you so much. But asking people to subscribe, asking people to take action with you, asking people to do notifications, which of course is even higher because these are desktop notifications. I love this tool, by the way. Are you using subscriber.com or what tool are you using for this, Frank? Because I think a lot of people could benefit from it. These things work really well because when you create a new post, for example, you can in fact have a desktop notification. So when a person's on a computer, you come out with a new piece of content. This can work really, really well. But again, first impression, literally the first thing I saw when I came here was we'd like to show you notifications for latest news and updates. How do I know that that's what I want or that I like your style? If you ask me this perhaps on the second or third time I come to your website, which I know some of these tools can allow you to do, if you ask me maybe after a few minutes on your website, then yeah, absolutely, I would love to do this, especially if you've ever helped me. Stephanie here says, oh, I hate website notification thing. Kyle says, I never clicked yes on one of those pop-ups. A lot of people do, so I wouldn't discount them, but as you can see, people don't necessarily have a joy of seeing these up front. So I'm going to cancel right now, no offense, but again, that's just because I want to keep moving forward here. Number one, I love this sort of welcome mat. This is what's called a welcome mat. Hey, not because your name is Matt or my name is Matt, but like a welcome mat. Just the first impression, things about your website, become better financially. Big tagline with some shadow underneath. Beautiful, perfect. Love that phrase. Hi, I'm Frank. If you're interested in making more money and becoming financially secure, excuse me, then you're in the right place. This site is full of financial information that will make achieving your financial goals quicker and easier. Cool, not bad. I would rate that like an A- in terms of tagline and welcome mat. Start here. I love seeing start here areas. I'm going to click on that in just a moment. I will say, however, this picture, although great framed, perfect because we get to see who's behind the text and the conversation here, it is not a great quality picture. You look great, by the way, Frank. But it's very welcoming, smile, looking right at the camera. That's great, positioned correctly, but it's a little blurry. The rest of the website looks very high quality, and then a blurry picture just kind of takes away from that. Shonda says, me too. I'm looking forward to implementing the website review ideas I received from Pat. Thank you, Shonda. I appreciate you for that. Let's go to, hold on a sec. I'm just writing something down. Okay, so Frank, we need to update the quality of that picture to be just as sharp as the rest of your website. I hope that makes sense. Let's scroll down a little bit. Perfect. I love a little bit of social proof here. Yahoo Finance, iHeartRadio, Street Insider. Many people are like, oh, well, what's the purpose of this? The purpose of this is people come to our websites and they're like, okay, how can I trust this person? How do I know that this person has legit information? An easy way to help people understand that is through social proof like this. Now, there are a lot of arguments related to these kinds of things. A lot of people say, oh, well, it's very easy to just like pop up one of those images, and how do we know that this is actually true, right? I can just grab an image from Entrepreneur Magazine and put it on there, put their logo on there, and how do I know that's true, right? So you could help people a little bit further if you wanted to by linking each of these different images to those things. But that's, at the same time, do we really want people to kind of click on these and be interested in something else and move away? Not really. I think that this is okay. So that's kind of my stance. I like what I'm seeing here. I also like that you don't have a bunch of color. You have a gray bar with some white text on these specific things. And that's very simple. That's very easy, and it doesn't take away from the beautiful color on the rest of your website. So I like that. Scrolling down. Okay. Advertiser disclosure. We hope you love our articles and products and reviews. We may receive compensation from the links on this page at no additional cost to you. This does not influence our evaluations or recommendations. So this is really interesting. It is very important to have a disclosure for affiliate commissions and any sort of sponsored posts that you might have. However, I will say, in my experience and in conversations with my attorneys, an affiliate disclosure that is just a link and or a pop-up like this, as we saw, I scrolled over this, and then the comments and the text popped up, is actually not going to suffice. Now, I will say also that you don't need to include this affiliate disclosure right here. But when you do include it, I shouldn't have to either scroll over something or click something to then go and see it. It's very important, if you want to abide by the rules, to have the actual words show in the moment where it makes sense to show versus having to click on something else, if that makes sense. So the way to work around this would be, in fact, I would get rid of this advertiser disclosure here. Again, you might want to check with your own advertisers first, but in Dr. Severin, we're going to do yours next, and then we're going to go into Maple Point's Nadia DW, and that'll be probably all we're going to be able to do today. But I'm glad you have butterflies. That means that we're doing great. So Frank says, I do this in addition to in the articles. Oh, okay. Well, then this isn't necessarily hurting you, but it's not necessary to have it here. It's definitely important to mention when you have a sponsored post or when you have an affiliate link. That's when you want to mention it. If you're doing it in both places, that's of course overkill, and that's okay. That's on the safer side, of course. So you can keep it there if you like, but it is going to be potentially, not necessary there because it does move everything down and it kind of, doesn't align as well anymore. Ooh, I love this popover status. When I pop over, it makes me want to click. I can click to read more. It looks like you're using great titles here. What are the requirements to open a business bank account in 2021? That's a great, potentially SEO-driven post there. Is refinancing your student loans worth it? The best ways to invest in gold for beginners. Super fantastic. I love that. Teach your kids to be financially responsible. Awesome. Really love this sort of graphic down here. Kind of wish it was pointing a little bit more to the right, but that's just a little bit picky. This is looking really good, Frank. I think we've reviewed your website before, did we not? And if we did, I think you've made a lot of great changes here. I do want to dive into the Start Here page, but subscribe for the latest articles, reviews, tips, and strategies straight to your inbox. To me personally, this is, mid-level in terms of incentive, right? People don't wake up in the morning and go, I want more emails, or, I want all the things in my inbox. This is great. It works for some people, but in many cases, the best incentive is going to be one that would actually have a person want to get the thing right now. Because guess what? They're on the website where they can already see the latest articles, reviews, tips, and they can always just come back to the website. Versus if you had some either exclusive stuff and or a downloadable, maybe that's when we can get a little bit more emails. And I love that you're collecting emails. I think the design of this looks really, really well. But I think in terms of incentive, we're kind of at a C in terms of grade, in terms of what we can do to incentivize people to subscribe. All right, so I want to click on this Start Here button because this is key. This is the number one thing you want me to do. So I want to see what you do, where you lead me, and the journey that you're taking me on. So I'm going to click Start Here. Start your financial journey here. And again, this advertiser disclosure, again, popping up. Is it even necessary on this page? Probably not. But it is the first thing I see, and it is a little bit distracting, I will say. So you might be able to benefit from getting rid of that. But again, it's up to you, and based on your preference of safety and just kind of being sure, maybe you have attorneys that want you to do that. That's totally fine. But again, based on my opinion, not really necessary at this moment. But here it is. Look, a free personal finance checklist. Why isn't this mentioned on the bottom of the homepage? I think this is huge. Like right here, subscribe for the latest articles. Okay. Free personal finance checklist. A checklist to start you on your financial journey. Perfect starting point for building the necessary foundation for financial success. The best part is it's free. I want that right now. Let me click. Oh, interesting. So I clicked because I want it, and then you're selling it to me more. Interesting. if I were you, I would just like, this is enough to sell me on it, right? I know you have a landing page for it, which is maybe where you bring other people to, or you have a easy link to go from a website, or excuse me, a podcast or a YouTube video. But I mean, I want to get instant access to it already. You're making me go through a bunch of hoops, Frank. I think that it would behoove you to just get those who are really excited to work with you. You see how many backs I had to go? I would want to see, click here, boom, a pop-up shows up. Name, email, done. I get the thing, I'm on your list, there you go, right? Versus I had to click once, and then now I have to click again, and then I have to put my name and email. I would have this sort of pop up right when I do that. Yeah. Yeah, see, I think this is what your website looked like before. And it looks way better now. Cool. So that, I love that this is like the first thing though. It's like, hey, this is step one. I would even call it step one, right? Step one, this idea of, hey, this is the first thing you should do. If you don't have this already, awesome. Now you could get to the point where you get a little advanced with this stuff, where for people who are already on your list, you can actually remove this section of that particular page. How do you do that? Well, there's a tool called Write Message, which would allow you to understand based on the tags that people have, and or just whether or not they're on your email list or not. You can actually, within Write Message, you don't have to create like a second page for those people. You can just say, hey, if people have this thing already, let's like remove this call to action and let's have them go to the next thing, right? This is where we start to get a little bit more advanced, Frank. And the reason I'm mentioning this tool, Write Message, is because to me, it seems like you're at the perfect place with where your website is at. We're getting a little bit nitpicky here. I want to push you. I want to challenge you a little bit. And then this might be a way for you to get people who already have this checklist to go into other things and get even deeper into your website and get more value from you. So just a potential suggestion, but I love it. Have a great day, Ryan. Thank you so much for coming in. I think Boris just checked out too, but if not, thanks for coming in, my friend. All right. Let's see. Personal finance. Love that I can go, okay, well, what's most important to me right now? The three main pillars of personal finance are budgeting, having your debt under control, and making sure your credit is in good standing. A little bit interesting how there's like, you mentioned these personal finance principles. There's three, and then there's like a fourth one. So again, making it a little bit more clear with where you want me to go. Is Write Message platform specific? It is not. But I think if you had those three pillars, I would want to see those three pillars. And then maybe quick money wins is a separate one. Quick money wins to me are really important though. I love that you have that there, because these are things that make me go, ooh, I get some money quicker, sooner than later. And then, wow, I want to dive into Frank's stuff even more. This very much reminds me of some of the kinds of posts that Ramit Sethi comes out with, because he comes out with a lot of hard-hitting stuff that's very deep, but every once in a while, he comes out with a post that you could literally read in 10 minutes and boom, get some results, save money on your cable bill or what have you, reduce your electricity bill by doing these 4 or 5 things, like boom. And then that makes me want to come back, right? So I love that you have these quick money wins. I think that in and of itself could be a section that maybe is up higher on the Start Here page, because then you can get people like those endorphins of getting some wins sooner, and then they can go deeper into the pillars. Because sometimes budgeting is scary. Sometimes, getting out of debt is a huge deal, right? But if you want to change somebody's life, you can start by changing their day first, if that makes sense. Yes, Pat, it makes it clear to us all the time. That's one thing I must change on my current site project, says GTO. Cool. Loving this Start Here page, though, I will say. This is one of the better ones that I've seen in terms of just like, hey guys, this is like some of your first steps here. I love that. Investing in wealth building, go to the investing page. Entrepreneurship page, you have like the different sections here. Awesome. You have all the things covered. You even have some categories here. I don't know if that's misspelled. I think it is. Category E. Check out the YouTube channel. Awesome. Let's go to the YouTube channel. Frank in the house. Again, it's kind of same comment about I think we reviewed your YouTube channel before. Awesome. Look at this. 1 day ago. Look at that. 88 views compared to one view, 4 views. Look at this one. Good investing, gold investing, 400. Dude, you're doing awesome. Keep up the good work. Pay attention to the things that YouTube is telling you that people are absolutely loving. It's interesting how short these clips are as well. I want to watch this really quick. 88 is a great number, by the way. My favorite number in the world.
Hi, if you're looking to build your net worth and have checks coming in every month, passive income checks that you're not working for, you need to pay attention right now. My name is Frank McCretis of
Love the hook before you just started going into it. The vertical video is really interesting. I would imagine that it's just a lot easier to create videos like this. You're getting some thumbs up on it, and people are more used to these vertical videos now. Before, a video that's vertical like this, it would just get so much hate. People are like, why are you recording in this way? Now with Instagram and TikTok and all these other things, it's more usual. I don't think this is bad at all. Love the hook in the beginning, and then you introduce yourself. I'm curious. I'm just going to watch the rest of this video, in fact, because I want to see, because it's so short, this is an opportunity for people to go from one video to the next, and I want to see how well you do that. So let's hit play here.
FrankMcCretis.com and the Frank McCretis YouTube channel. Please subscribe to this video and stay tuned and watch all my videos on personal finance, investing, and entrepreneurship. I started real estate investing. I even got my real estate license while I was still in college. I stayed home with my parents. I scrapped together everything I needed to do to start snowballing and building my cash flow real estate portfolio. I have a full tutorial on how to do that step by step, all completely free. Link will be in the description below. Check it all out. FrankMcCretis.com, Frank McCretis YouTube channel. Subscribe today. Thank you.
All right. So, great video with a call to action. Not a lot of valuable content. Hopefully, we can get people to go from the video to the link. I love how you have the call to action go to the link in the description, but this is obviously not a YouTube play. When you start telling people to go off of YouTube, and of course within a minute, a pretty clickbaity title in terms of, you know, promising things and then not necessarily delivering it in the video itself, it's not going to really help you with your YouTube channel specifically, right? It will help you get more emails, but in many cases with YouTube and website kind of balancing that act, sometimes we need to do videos that keep people on YouTube and keep them watching more, right? It's interesting because you actually have several call to actions here. You have subscribe, you have go check out the rest of my videos, and then you have go download this thing. And it's a lot to ask from somebody who's just found you potentially. And sometimes a video should have only one purpose and one purpose alone, right? So just something to keep in mind, Frank. You might stunt your growth a little bit by having several videos like this. I would not stop necessarily, just keep in mind that this isn't going to help you grow your channel as much as if you went in depth with this information. Or maybe what you could do is to potentially kind of part two of this is you go into your website, you show people what's on the checklist, you show people how to use it and provide some value there along the way, whilst also then getting more email subscribers at the same time, if that makes sense. Cool. So Frank, we talked about a lot of things. Hopefully this was helpful for you. Let me know in the chat. I see that you're still here. Hopefully this is providing some value to you. And I'm really interested to see what you do with this. I think that you've done a lot of things since the last time we've reviewed something on your channel, and the website's looking really good. Again, that image, really important to have high quality up at the top. And then remember, when we're getting people to join our email list, we want as little friction as possible. And then finally, that notification that came up early on the visit, we want to get rid of that, or at least delay it a little bit. So hopefully we can go from there. So great to know. Well done, and thank you so much. Dr. Severin, would you like me to review your website or your YouTube channel? I think it's your website, right? And if it is a website, can you pop in your URL once again? Can I check out the tools page and one article? Yeah, I could do that while we're waiting for Dr. Severin. So let's go to the tools page, resources, tools. Financial tools, resources. There have been, okay, so you have the disclaimer here. That's great. There have been so many requests for a one-stop place to find all my best recommendations. I've created this page for you so that you can quickly find everything you're looking for in one place. This page will update and evolve from time to time to make sure you keep checking in. Okay, cool. I think that we can sell what might be on this page a little bit more, but this, like most of the text that I just read, was about the fact that other people were asking. This is why you put, like, what you've done to put it together. The fact that it's a one-stop place. I think you overkilled that. And then we can go into the tools and resources below are here to help you save time and save money. This is here to help you filter all the noise and all the resources and put everything in one spot for you so that you can get better results faster and easier. That seems to be the hook of your website, getting things done faster and easier. So let's mention that here as well. And of course, you have these categories. I love the way that this is done. in terms of just the design of it. Try TurboTax, try this. You have your affiliate disclaimer above, so that takes care of that. The way that this is designed is looking really good. Credit to whoever built this website, or maybe it's you. It's looking really good. You have a little bit of text. Try College Backer, hoping that these open on a new page. Oh no, we need to open these on a new page, because people will go to that page, and if it's not on a new page, they're going to get lost going down that new rabbit hole, and then they're going to forget where they come from or just not take the time to go back. So let's open all of these in a new page, if that makes sense. But yeah, looking real good here. I would say that if you had like... So my worry here is that there might be too many options. Meaning, okay, if I'm building credit, like, I mean, maybe these aren't necessarily competing products, but ideally, if you have like 2 solutions for one problem, I would pick the one and promote that. I wouldn't share both unless it was a very clear delineation on who would be best for product A and who would be best for product B, because your job is to help people cut through the noise. And sometimes by going, oh yeah, there's actually 2 that can help you, you're adding more confusion. Your job is to help people make decisions, and you can go, this is the one that I prefer and that I recommend, and here's why. And this comes from a better, more authoritative position versus just becoming a review website, right? So you could reduce the noise. You could have a much higher conversion rate by going into one of these tools versus many more. That is if, in fact, these are competing against each other. And again, I'm not quite sure. I haven't read all of these, but something to keep in mind for sure. There's a lot of tools here. Thank you, Chris Brown. Make that like button blue again. Thank you so much. Jillian says, how do we get reviews done? Essentially, just kind of random. Whoever pops in and just asks first or catches my attention. We have 2 more in the coming right now. Dr. Severin Bryan, as well as Maple Point's Nadia is up next. And that should take us to the top of the hour because we have 30 minutes left. I'll do 10, 15 each. And if there's time for more, I might ask for more. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks, everybody. And then finally, what was the other page that you wanted me to check out? Like a blog post page? Let's see. Let's go to invest. Let's go to entrepreneurship, side hustle, startup. This should take me to a category page. Perfect. What are the requirements to open a business bank account? All right. I wanted to see business bank account in the first paragraph, which is missing. That's great for search engine optimization. I love how you have the table of contents here. That's huge for SEO these days. Having some navigation, especially for like bigger posts like this, that's really great. There's some interesting spacing issues here just between this box here. I love how you have callouts though. That's really great. And of course, oh, perfect. I was looking for like other things that broke up the content a little bit, like images or something, but it looks really good. Perfect. If I click on one of these, how long will it take? Perfect. Scrolls me down. It would be nice if I scrolled down and it took me kind of right there, if that makes sense. Not there, but there. That way I can just sort of connect what I clicked on to where I am now. And that's awesome. But yeah, this is really good. I will say that just be careful with how much bold text you use. Bold should be used very sparingly. For example, there's bold here and then bold here, bold everywhere. It's just a lot to take in, and you want to use it sparingly to highlight certain things. I think the bullet points itself will highlight these points, and then you can use bold within like here where you're defining it, which is great, and maybe some keywords that you might want to pop out or pull out. But there's a lot of bold here that just captured my attention. The other thing I will mention is that it was actually kind of hard to see your links. Like, I think if this was, so you see how when I hover over this, it's light blue now? That to me speaks link. It like the underline, I don't know, I almost missed that this was a link. And I think you could benefit from, you know, for those who just like kind of lollygag around and they're not quite sure what's a link or not, or just aren't really paying attention. You don't want to, you want to have it be a little bit more obvious, right? So let's switch it out so that maybe it's blue and then dark blue when people hover, if that makes sense. I did the bold to rank for Google Snippet. Maybe that's not a good idea. Is it working? Is it working? I'm not sure. Is Dr. Severin Bryan still in the house? Let me know. I know you were a little nervous, and I don't want you to be nervous, but I'm here to help you. Maybe I can do a Google search and find you. Anyway, Frank, hopefully that helps a little bit. But I love the way this looks. I think that the paragraphs, well written, nicely spaced out, nothing too large, but just something to potentially help you with. All right, let's go to Dr. Severin Bryan. Let's see if I could find a website. Yep, I think I know where we are. So let's see. Blog. So if you're still here, I don't want to do a review if you're not still here because I want to get your feedback and such. But I believe this is your website, right? sevtalksmoney.com/blog. All right. Let's just ensure that this is the website we want reviewed, because we've done some website reviews for people on the things that they didn't want website reviews about before, and that's really interesting. So we're just going to get some confirmation, but let me know if this is in fact what we want to review. Okay, I do see you here, which is great. Let me know if we're in the right place, and then we'll get started. Loving the personality that I'm seeing already, though, right? That's pretty cool. I also noticed that this pop-up showed up, but it didn't show up right away, right? It didn't show up right away. It looks like it's one of these things that kind of comes down the page with you, and it kind of went away after that. That's kind of neat. It's still a little early to ask for an email, I think, but it's not quite as abrasive as just like, or invasive, as just like, boom, hello, nice to meet you. Can you sign up to my email list, right? That is the website. Yay, we're in the right spot. Awesome. And yes, we're doing like financial websites today, which is pretty cool. I know Lex, you're in that space as well. Entrepreneurship, budget, save, credit, debt-free, net worth. I kind of, I like this idea of you sort of like shouting out these things. Again, like I said, I can already feel personality here. And that's a really difficult thing to do often, is to, with just images and a little bit of text, get a feel for like the kind of fun or the kind of personality that one might get. So I want to commend you on that. I do want to say that I'm seeing a lot of different kinds of fonts, different words. My eye doesn't necessarily know where to go, just in terms of design. The colors I do like, though. I like the purple theme, and sort of like the peach/purple blend here, purple text. That seems to be like a good color for you, and I think that works. So I'm okay with that too. But I think that this image can be improved. I think that this is a great start. I love the idea of sort of like shouting these things out, but it seems a little bit quote unquote Photoshoppy. I hope you don't take offense to that, but I love the idea. I think we can take it another iteration further, and I would love to see your face a little bit more. Maybe if you were doing this more toward the camera, or maybe you just didn't have the sort of megaphone feel and you just did more of like a, if I were to do, how would I do this? Like if it was more of like a, right? That kind of situation where we want to see your face, because right now I see mostly the side of your face, which is blocked from your hair. So like it's as if I was doing this income stream like this. Hey everybody, good to see you today. And then the camera's over here, but I'm talking to you this way. And that like we want this fun, interesting personality to come out this way, right? And we want to have it done that way. So maybe you just look at the camera, you smile, and then you just go, like, and I love what that you say all the things here: budget, save, credit, debt-free, net worth, and then of course taking you on a journey to financial freedom. That is very clear, but there's a lot of other people who do this as well. Not saying you shouldn't do it, but what is unique about you? To me, it screams fun. It's not boring, right? So I would take this tagline of yours just a little bit further and go, taking you on a financial journey into financial freedom, parentheses, without the boring, or minus the boring, or with fun too, or something like that, right? That way people can just come here. And again, I had a sense already that you're this fun person and colorful and whatnot. Like, let's just say it straight up. I want to help you on your financial journey to financial freedom with some fun to come along with it, right? So I love that sort of that feel, if you will. Whoosh sound when he spun around would have been cool, right? But you couldn't see that because I was... Whoa. Sorry, too many buttons. I gotta use that button more, right? I should have, when I came on your page, I should have gone... Okay. Anyway, we're having some fun today, everybody. So standard blog format, right? With a artwork up top. The artwork, I think, again, needs a little bit of work. I do see sort of like the repeated image here in the background just to kind of take more space. I like this sort of like paintbrush effect. Oh my gosh, I heard thunder. I have not heard thunder for years. Weather-wise. I bring the thunder every day, though. You know what I'm saying? Just kidding. Okay. Wow. What was in the coffee this morning? Okay. So Sev Talks Money. Awesome. SevTalksMoney.com. Great. Let's go down. Home, mission, vision. Now, this is a good opportunity for you to not just have like, okay, this is the category of the next spot. Like, let's have some text that actually gets people to sort of have a conversation with you, right? If you were sitting down at a coffee shop with somebody, that's how I want you to feel about this, doctor. Like, you're sitting down and then, like, imagine you're sitting down with somebody who's interested, who like wanted to meet you, and you know you have this great information to share with them, and you go, home, vision, mission. It's like, what? What about, here's what I want to help you do. Boom, right? Like, you're in this conversation now. So I want these sort of headlines to be a little bit more conversational, right? So maybe even going into what does your financial freedom mean to you? Financial freedom is different for everybody, but to me, it means this, and here's why I am stepping up to help you. Here's the journey that I went through, a little bit more about you, right? Also, I will say that if you look at this, there's a lot of white text around these images, and there's very little text at all. And so I would see how you might be able to make this even more like a blog post. If I were to go to one of your blog posts, for example, just let me see how it's structured a little bit. Read more. Oh, your blog posts are written the same way. Yeah, I think that it would benefit you to have these images not on their own line. These are cute images. Again, having fun. This is who you are. I'm getting this through your website, and that is a hard thing to do, right? But that's cool. I love how you have that. These images, however, are taking up a load of space with the design that you have. I'm not saying you have to completely change the design. I just mean that you could do what's called wrapping the text. Wrapping the text means, wow, it is raining really hard here. If the power shuts out for whatever reason, I apologize. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I don't yet have the Tesla Powerwall yet, but we are running on solar, so I don't know. I don't know if... Actually, I'm interested. Can the power turn? I don't know. All right, so here's the pop-up again. Subscribe to get notified of free and paid special events, resources, and new blog posts. I would recommend having some sort of lead magnet to go in there, something that would draw people's attention to get something now, right? Because people can already get posts and good information here, but just having some sort of exclusive content really isn't enough. You need to have some sort of lead magnet, and I think that maybe you can have, similar to what Frank had, maybe either a checklist or an essential list or an audit or something to have people begin to start getting some quick value from you. But in terms of the way that this is posted, this is structured, again, I have maybe 2 sentences and I'm already like halfway down the page. The text that you have here is going to be really important, and the images are a little bit distracting in a way. I would say that you could wrap the text, have a lot more information, and get people to know you a little bit more. It's really important for people to know why this is here, who you are, and why they should listen to you, and what fun they could have here. And I would also direct them to what might be perfect for them to get into next, right? So after they come down here on the page, it's like, okay, well, where should I go next? It's kind of a dead end, right? So here at the bottom, it should include maybe links to the best and most popular articles that you have, or the things that you think people should start with first, if that makes sense, right? What's up, Logan? Good to see you here. So again, I think that just design-wise, it needs a little bit of help to have more of the text pop up and to just kind of offer a little bit more information and more value to the people who are here. Because these images are great. I think again, this shows fun and this shows your personality. But I think that they're taking away right now from what is more important, which is the text. I love how you're talking about like, hey, this is no judgment zone. We're here together. I love that. This is a place where you can get help on your road to financial freedom. Here's who I am. Here is where, when you introduce yourself, I would have another image of you. Talk a little bit about your story. How has thinking about your financial freedom impacted you in your life? What has it allowed you to do? And why are you so inclined to want to help others too? This is where I think we can go from there. And again, I know that we're likely just starting out or haven't had really some critiquing before. So I want to commend you on just even asking and stepping up for advice. This is where it starts. This is how we know where to go next, right? Let's actually go to a blog post, because this is sort of, and I also want to go into your podcast, and then we're going to finish up with Maple Points, who is here as well, and we're going to review a YouTube channel from him or her. So let's go into the Money Epiphany. This is the latest blog post that you've had. Aha. From a young girl, I've had an affinity for numbers and a love of teaching. However, my epiphany for all things financial actually started with my first professional job over 25 years ago. Cool, so we're starting with a story. A story is a great way, in fact, to hook people. I don't think that we always have to have a, hey, everybody, in this blog post, you're going to learn 10 things about this. Make sure to stick to the end because this X, Y, and Z. See, this thing popped up again for me. And you have this come up on every single page. It's kind of now starting to get a little bit of a nuisance, right? It's almost like, hey, like when you go into a retail store, right? And a person comes in or you walk in the store and the person at Gap is like, hey, may I help you find something today? And you're like, no, I'm just looking around. And then literally 1 minute later, the same person comes around and goes, hey, I noticed that you were looking at this thing. Is there anything I can help you with? No, I'm good. I'm good. 1 minute later, they come back again. That's starting to get a feel of like that. So there may be some settings within your email marketing tool to allow you to only show it once per visit, which would take care of that. And again, I would only show it maybe minutes after I've gotten to go in your post or scroll down the page a little bit. Then it pops up. And of course, I would definitely have some sort of email marketing capture tool at the end of your blog post. Again, your blog post, your bread and butter. At the end, people have gotten value. That would be a perfect time. And essentially you have permission then to ask to see if people want to subscribe, again, to hopefully get something in return, if that makes sense. The pop-up is supposed to go away after the first page. Okay, cool. So you understand the concept. Let's just make sure that's working, but that's great. Let's go back up and let's kind of go through this blog post. So again, a hook doesn't always have to be, you better read this post or else you're going to be financially doomed. It could be the start of a story. But we need to really bring the feelings, the emotions, the senses into the story. And I'm starting to feel that a little bit here. From a young girl, had an affinity for numbers and a love of teaching. However, my epiphany for all things financially actually started with my first professional job over 25 years ago. I think we need to add a little bit more flavor in there to go, oh, I need to know the rest of the story, right? So, for example, if I were to write this or sort of move it around a little bit, I might say something like, from a young girl, I've had an affinity for numbers and a love of teaching. But it wasn't until I was 25 did I understand that numbers actually made the difference between success and failure in my future. Here's a quick story of a time numbers or a lack of understanding of numbers failed me. Right now I'm like, ooh, it failed you? Like what? And I'm not sure exactly what the rest of the story is, for example, but you see where I'm going? I'm like, I still need a hook of some kind. I still need a reason to read the next paragraph. Your first paragraph the only reason you need a first paragraph is to get people to read the second paragraph. And then the second paragraph, the reason for that should be to open the third paragraph. I also want to say the title of this isn't going to be as, we need to be a little bit more strategic with the titles as well. Number one, for financial SEO purposes, for SEO purposes, search engine optimization purposes. And if a person were to see the money epiphany amongst a sea of other things, which guess what? They have a sea of other things to potentially read or view, whether on your website or somebody else's. We want this to be a title because the title is what they see first before anything else. We want that title to go, wow, okay, what is that, right? Maybe it's the money epiphany, the biggest failure I ever had in money and what it taught me for my financial future or something like that, if that makes sense, right? So Dr. Severin says, okay, awesome intro, that makes sense. How about add a real story versus telling the story? I mean, this likely is a real story, right? What do you mean by that, Grandma Goody? Like a Ponzi scheme of a blog post? Kind of, but that's kind of a negative way to put it, Lex. But the first part should draw people into the rest of it, right? And once you get them hooked, again, they're going to stick around to the end. Let's see. 4 months in my new job, received the budget book, began trying. So we get into. Okay. So I am just trying to look for you versus I. What I mean by you versus I is I want to see eventually a point where you transition from the I experience, the me experience, or in this case, you, doctor, to how this then helps others, right? So what I'm reading so far, and again, I just skimmed through this because I don't want to read it all the way through and take that time, but I see a lot of, it was not unusual for me to leave the bookstore after 4 months into my job. I received a budget book. I can only assume that I spent that much money. Another unfortunate part of spending so much, there is nothing wrong, but I believe there should be some balance. And, okay, it does transition to you here, but this is where it's really important to go, okay, here's the whole point of the story and why it's relevant to you, right? And the more we can hone in on that, that we want to see more of that, right? It's almost like if you are doing an interview, but you're talking more than the person you're interviewing, that's never good for podcasting's sake. And then if you are going to be writing a blog post, again, the whole purpose of this blog post is to help others. It's okay to talk about yourself, but these lessons from your own experience have to transcend into, okay, this is how this actually matters to me. And again, the more deep, the more emotional you can get, happy, sad, whatever, the more likely a person is going to connect and see how this then story relates to everything that they have and what they're doing, right? If that makes sense. So, how we feeling? I hope this is not overwhelming. And of course, this is all recorded for you, doctor, and for everybody else. So in case you want to go back, that can help. And again, just the formatting of this, just having like a block of text, image, block of text, image, block of text, image. I would say we could probably reduce the amount of images in half. We could also include the images maybe sort of on the side or within the paragraph, like wrapped or what is it called, like forced right. Typically, you want to have the images on the right-hand side and then the text on the left because we always read from left to right. No, this is great. Awesome. Cool. And then the last thing here I will say is that you hear, okay, so how can I help you get a handle on your spending? Let's get started on your journey to having more money than month. Having more money than month. To having more money. That's a little confusing to me in terms of what this means, but that's okay. That can just be easily corrected. What I wanted to get into was, okay, where do we go next? Right? What might be a next related post that I can get into? Very similar to on YouTube, we want to get people who are on our website to just keep going. We never want to have a dead end. You want to, and this is for everybody, you want to maybe go into your website with the approach that you're a brand new viewer or a brand new visitor, and you want to kind of imagine what it might be like to go through and just click around and go to different places and then understand, okay, what is compelling me to stay? And what is compelling me to leave? Or am I compelled to leave? Or am I not interested enough to stick around? And when you can have that approach, and maybe you might want to have some friends or family or other people go through your website, like look over their shoulder and just go, okay, so what do you feel about this? You're going to get some real, true, real-time advice. And I can tell you right here, it's like it would make sense to go, okay, now that you've read this, here's another blog post that would make sense for you to read, or here's the next step, or here's a little bit more detail about that thing I just mentioned, right? So we can go a little bit further into that. Okay, let's get started on your journey to having more money than month. Got it. Thank you, Bernard, for clarifying that for me. What about building key phrases or using header tags? Yeah, I mean, for longer posts, and thank you, Kibby, this is where when we start to get into different sections, this is how properly we should be writing blog posts. We should be writing blog posts in a way where it's not just a giant sea of text. Your images help break that up a little bit, but I will say that having subheaders, right? So maybe you start with the money epiphany in the story and you go to, here's the mistake I made, and that's bigger and bold, and then now I have a breath I could take before I move into the next paragraph. And then at the end, you can even have it say, and here's the biggest lesson of all, right? Boom, big text so that I can scroll up and down. I can find my place. If I lose it, it's just easier on the eye. Thank you, Kibby, for that, but I think that makes sense for sure. Also, as Sue says, call to action at the end. What do you want me to do next, right? Do you want me to go read another blog post? Do you want me to subscribe to get this free thing that you might have to offer? All those kinds of things. But I will say, as far as starting, like this is a great start. On your podcast page, let's check that out. Love that you have a podcast. Would love to see how I might be able to subscribe on all the different places. I see that you have a link here to subscribe on Spotify right at the bottom. But what if I listen on Apple Podcasts? Also, I can't even click on that. I want to know an easy way for me to subscribe to your show if I'm on Android, if I'm on Google. So have all the places there. Google, here's that thing again. Google Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcast, etc. Just like all the logos for it so that I can, if I'm interested, I can go boom. Now I can get it on my device, right? And then, of course, I don't know if you have multiple episodes down below that I could check out. Maybe a little bit more. I'd love to see a larger version of your graphic there because that, again, just there. You're looking at the camera, but I can barely see because it's so small. Cool. But yeah, great first start. But let's keep going. Ninja here is asking, well, how do I get a website review, I think? It's kind of random, and I do 2 to 3 to 4 every single weekend, and so you might be able to pop in next weekend, and then we can kind maybe get you in there. It's sort of just random, right? But it's awesome. Okay, Doctor says, I just started my podcast last week. Hey, congratulations on that. That's awesome. And keep up the good work. So yeah, great start. And I hope that this was helpful for you. And I'm really interested to see where you take this from this point forward. All right. I believe, Nadia, if this is you, let me know, Nadia, if we are in the right spot here to review your YouTube channel, right? Awesome, you're inspiration now. Got to get off my butt, says Lex. Glad to see you. Can't believe you're teaching exactly what I needed to learn today. Thanks, Pat Flynn. I'm starting first blog today. Grandma Goody thought it was a B-log. B-log. Nice. Cool. That's awesome. That's why I love this, because a lot of times these individuals who are reviewed here can be relevant for several other people too. It was lots of great takeaways. Perfect. All right, so to finish up, we wanted to review, I believe, Nadia here. Nadia, let me know if this is, in fact, exactly where we want to go. Almost 1,000 subscribers. Congratulations on that, by the way. These thumbnails are looking very yummy, I will say. Wow, this chutney. Look at that. 4.6K views. That's awesome. Let's check out some of your other videos. And in fact, let me know if this is in fact the right page, because sometimes I've reviewed people by accident. That's me. My website has more current content. Cool. So would you rather me go into the YouTube channel, or would you rather me go into the to the website? Let me know. I will say, maybe we'll just start here as you answer, and then I can kind of go into the one that you want me to focus on more. But I will say that we need a little bit of work on the artwork. It's not necessarily centered. I think the font can be a little bit stronger, especially down in the taglines, recipes, reviews, videos, reviews, and more. I mean, of course, we know it's videos, but like, what about these? What is Maple Points about? Maple Points is not enough for me to know exactly why I should stick around or explore a little bit more. Also, just know that your artwork, your face gets cut off a little bit here on the right-hand side. So we want to have you maybe a little bit smaller next to your title or tagline so that we could see you and get to know you a little bit more. And of course, a tagline that would help me understand what I can get here beyond just, of course, videos and recipes. We can see that, but what about these? Is it a special type of cuisine? Is it a special approach to cuisine? Is it the fact that they're super simple and easy and whatnot? So let's just stick around here, because we talked about a lot of website stuff already, Maple, or Nadia, sorry, and we can just go here. But first of all, 967 subs. Awesome. High five on that. That's looking really good. And like I said, these thumbnails are so nice. Keep up the good work on that. I will say that the text on the thumbnails, when you do include the text, I think we can make them a little bit bigger. We can make them a little bit bigger. Like, look at cinnamon rolls here. I can barely see it said cinnamon rolls. I have to really zoom in. I would go with a much bolder font, and maybe even put like a little box behind the font so that it just stands out a little bit more, right? And maybe, like, what about the cinnamon rolls? It says cinnamon rolls recipe, but in the thumbnail, like, even just including like cinnamon rolls made easy, or secret cinnamon rolls recipe or something like that, right? Something that would entice me a little bit more. The fact that you have the same text on the thumbnail as in the title, it's sort of you're doing double the amount of work that you need to do, or it's a waste, right? You can include some other text on the thumbnails. And what you could do, this may be step number one, and this is often step number one for people when we do YouTube channel reviews, is to go back to your thumbnails without even like worrying about new videos right now. All you have to do is spend some time and take your thumbnails from your older videos, update them, and literally just that alone, I've seen people increase their viewership by 2 to 3x sometimes, because what happens is when you change the thumbnails, you might spark an algorithm change. YouTube might go, okay, now that you got a new thumbnail, let's send it out to people just to kind of see how it does. And then of course, if it improves, it does better, then they're gonna start recommending it to different people. And some of your older videos that have been sitting dormant just may need a quick thumbnail change for things to happen. So that could be a really, really great way, and for something for people to do really quickly. And I did this in February of 2018 for some older videos, and I noticed a dramatic change in my viewership, in my impressions, all because of just thumbnails. Like, literally, that's it. So pretty mind-blowing, and something that you could probably do from here to take what you've already started and is working and make it even better. Now, if you're worried about doing that because some of your videos are already doing very well, here's what I would do. I would do this example for your carrot cake cupcake recipe. For your, it's interesting, right? Like, check it out. Of all the thumbnails on this, just this line, like, let's focus on just this middle line here, right? Chickpea potato patties. Boom. Look at that thumbnail. It's beautiful. 700 views. Let's look at this one. Soft bakes recipe. Like, beautiful. Look at this zoom in of these brownies. Awesome. The two that have the not so great thumbnails, like this carrot cake cupcake recipe, it doesn't look like a carrot cake cupcake. It just looks like a mound of, it's not the best thumbnail. And look, 26 views. And how about this one, the cinnamon rolls, right? They're not very unique looking compared to other people's cinnamon rolls. 122 views, the least amount, right? The thumbnails where it's not so great is less views, which is really interesting, right? And it just shows you that things with really good thumbnails do actually work. Look at this ice cream with the little bokeh effect in the background. Boom. That's beautiful, and 719 views. Look at this ice cream. I want it now. 2,000 views versus this sort of, no offense, but this chickpea powder, chickpea sweet potato corn chowder recipe. That doesn't look as appetizing. I'm sure it tastes great, but thumbnail-wise, it's not as appetizing. So yes, visuals are huge, and with food, my gosh, you have a superpower with your content. I can't create beautiful thumbnails of my email list. You can create beautiful thumbnails of a strawberry jam. And it's going to just, that alone will do so much. So the visuals are a lot. Sorry, I'm spending a lot of time with that, but that in and of itself would help out a ton. Hey, Archer. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Happy Saturday, everyone. Look at that delicious food. I want some. See, look at that delicious food. I want some. The images are great. I would also have an image up here in your artwork. It's all about food, and I see star ants, maybe with cinnamon, or what is that, a vanilla? And then some basil, thyme, that's basil, right? I don't know. But it's like, let's have an artwork image that represents the same kinds of beautiful thumbnails that you have on some of these videos, right? Cool. Maybe more lifestyle images with the food instead of just the dish. Perhaps, yeah, especially with like any sort of drink or something like this sorrel drink, a hand holding it with a straw coming out and just like beautiful kind of looking thing. But there's so much more opportunity here, I think. And then that alone, I think, would be that honestly, that's what I would do. That's all. Now let's go into one of these videos and watch it really quick, because I want to see sort of how you structure these videos. I want to go into first one of these more recent videos that you had. Wow, look at this. Okay, I just noticed something. 2 years ago, 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 2 years ago for this chutney, and then 3 weeks ago. You took a little bit of a break, and that's okay, because now you're back. And of course, as you can see, the views are a lot lower. We kind of have to restart the algorithm. So I promise you, doing this image thing can go a very long way. Is that thyme or rosemary? Yeah, I think you're right. I think that is rosemary. I love rosemary, by the way. Let's see. Let's watch one of your latest ones. Maple plums. So very beautiful music. It's sort of like a chill, relaxed, casual style. I was wondering whether or not you spoke in it. But I would say that as far as intro, I think that you could include just maybe one more piece of text here that just might be like ginger maple plum crisp. 30 minutes, and I promise it'll be worth your time, or something like that, right? Just something maybe a little bit more personality versus just I'm a recipe video channel. Like let's get a little bit of that like call to action in there, or some sort of what you call it, like a hook a little bit, right? And of course that right here looks, this is the final product. I'm glad that you're starting with the final product here. Maybe there's an image of you sort of like, dude, these food channels blow up because just psychologically we see these things, we're like mouth drooling, we can't help but watch and want to watch all the way through. There is a guy, and I'm not saying you should do this, I'm just sharing it for style, because the recipe alone is important, but the way you share the recipe is key too. So I want to share with you a video really quick. For 48-hour cookies, I think, is the video. Yeah, Alvin Sue. So again, I'm not saying you should do this. I'm just saying that the way the videos are shot and the personality that comes out behind it goes a very, very long way, right? I used to speak in them, but I'm not sure if I want to again. You don't have to. You don't have to. Watch this. So showing the final product, a little bit of the in-between. Listen to the sounds, by the way. The sounds are important. Now watch. This person doesn't speak, but look how they add personality into here. Do you hear that? Sounds, the sights, the senses, and a little bit of text. You don't even have to go this far as like adding words, but even in the beginning of your videos, just saying something like, this is one of my favorite recipes, or something like that, right? Bro. Now, I will say, this guy obviously knows how to shoot videos. For making toffee, he had like 6 different camera angles. You, again, don't have to do that. I'm just saying that we can go a little bit further in bringing the senses out, and a little bit of personality as well. I think that could help you go a very long way, because then now you're not just a generic YouTube recipe channel, or have, of course, I think that you're going to be linking to these videos on your website too. So, man, this could help. This could be cool, right? I like that. Cool. So take that as inspiration. Again, I'm not saying you have to go this far. You don't have to create like 7 different camera angles or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, I think you could take it one step further to bring Nadia out and to bring the sort of like person who's viewing into your kitchen with you. And then especially in the beginning, like even just adding like a little note that says either why you love it or just something about the dish besides just like your encyclopedia. You don't want to be the encyclopedia. Encyclopedias are dead now. It's personality, it's the extra flavor, if you will, to go along with it too. Thank you for the love. Maple Point says, sorry, I'm not ignoring everyone. I'm just focused on listening to Pat. Let me go back to your video really quick. I'm sorry, I just got really inspired to share that with you. See, even just a little bit of movement, if instead of a picture, you just had like, even just a little, like that zoom up photo is really great. Imagine the beginning was this zoom up photo, but it was like, not those sounds, but like actual ASMR type sounds to go along with it. Now let's fast forward a little bit. See, this is cool. I'm in your kitchen. It's like I'm right beside you. You're showing me. I love this camera angle. You don't have to change that. I think that if you had the recipe, sorry, I'm not sharing this. So this camera angle looking really good, right? See, even that brought a little, where it said welcome to Maple Points, like, hey, I'm Nadia, come watch me make crispy maple plums, right? Love that. You're showing me. I would say the recipes are sometimes hard to read. And of course, you probably have a recipe on your website, which is perfect. You have your Instagram, great. Yeah, I think if you just had maybe a colored text behind, or colored box behind the text, it would help the recipe stand out a little bit more. Also, notice the line here. If I hover over to pause, the timeline of the video now gets in the way. So just keep that in mind. Keep your recipes and any text sort of up a little bit, if that makes sense. But yeah, I love it. Let's see where we end up. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing.
Up button. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them. And
see, there you are.
Don't forget to head over to maplepoints.com, my website.
See, I don't even think you should say before you click away. I would just say like, click here to watch the next recipe, right? And then you can go from one to the next. A lower third could work too, Kibby, but it doesn't have to get super complicated. But I think instead of like, hey, before you click away, like you're already telling people to go away, just be like, hey, click on the next video if you're ready, or check out this recipe below, and then boom, you go there. So Nadia, well done. I think I don't want to dive in much deeper because honestly, I think that you have a ton of things that we could do already. So I hope that helps you. I look forward to seeing how and where you take this. Maybe in your future videos, just think a little bit more about what we discussed. And I think going back into your older videos and updating the thumbnails would go a very long way. So, whew. Chat, thank you so much for today. I appreciate you. We're about 10 minutes over, but I wanted to make sure we gave Nadia fair time as well and didn't speed through it. But hey, thank you so much for today. I appreciate you. What a wonderful day. What a way to start. First, the Mr. Beast shout out, or at least he was touching my book. He touched my book. How crazy is that? I'm going to share that like crazy, that's for sure. And then finally, just being here with you, and thank you to all of you who've had your websites reviewed today. We had Frank earlier, Dr. Severin Bryan, and then Nadia here on our YouTube channel. Keep up the good work, everybody. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Tomorrow, same time, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. We're going to have a casual Q&A. We're going to pop on some chill, like jazz music in the background, some lo-fi. I'm just going to answer as many questions as I can for you. We're going to hang out, keep it casual. And again, I'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, and have an amazing weekend. Stay healthy, stay cool, and we'll see you soon. Peace out, everybody. Thanks so much. And as always, Team Flynn for the win.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream. All while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Thank you so much. High five, everybody. And if you want to catch me later today, my kids and I are going to be on Twitch streaming video games, playing some Among Us, and having some fun. It's going to be at around 2 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/hotcoalsonly. Peace out, everybody. Thanks so much. And as always, Team Flynn for the win.
Bruh.